Back in 2011, your options for a hybrid family sedan were few and far between. Japan offered the Camry hybrid, America offered the Fusion hybrid, but let's look at Korea's contender, the Optima hybrid. Kia, which was an up-and-coming brand in the early 2000s, released the first ever Optima in 2000 for the 2001 model year. The Optima is also known as the Kia Magentis in foreign markets. The first-gen Optima was essentially a rebadged Hyundai Sonata with a slightly different front and rear end and slightly different packaging for trim levels. In November of 2005, Kia introduced the second generation of Optima, which was now less related to its Sonata relative. The all-new third generation Optima was introduced at the New York Auto Show back in 2010. It featured an all-new, sleeker, and sportier design, and it also offered features that really put competitors like the Accord and Camry up for their money. This generation of Optima is also known as the Kia K5 in foreign markets, no longer the Kia Magentis.
So this industrious little fellow isn't just any Kia Optima hybrid. It actually belongs to my mom. So this is a 2011 Kia Optima hybrid finished in light graphite metallic, and this one has just shy of 103,000 miles. This also has to be the only 2011 Kia Optima hybrid in this color with the fender emblems off of a refreshed Optima hybrid. Because who modifies one of these?
Over the years, you could get your Optima hybrid with either a 16-inch alloy wheel or a 17-inch alloy wheel. EX trims would get the 17s, while these base model Optima hybrids got these 16s wrapped on these fat all-season tires.
The Kia Optima hybrid was bequeathed with but a single powertrain. Under the hood, you got a 2.4-liter dual overhead cam 4-cylinder paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. In this application, it made 206 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. Kia claimed that this could get 34 city and 39 on the highway, which actually makes it better than the 2011 Camry hybrid, which got 35 combined. One of the downsides about the hybrid powertrain is the lack of space that you get in the trunk. The normal Kia Optima has about 15 cubic feet of space in the trunk, but because of the battery in this one, you only get about 9.9 cubic feet.
But it's actually pretty roomy as well. This seems a little bit bigger than a Camry of this vintage. A Camry of this year as well. Materials are in the back. Actually up here it's surprisingly soft touch, but as we get lower in the door, plastic on the bottom. But there are cup holders in the doors as well. You have a center armrest with 2 cup holders, which are actually reasonably sized. A lot of these sedans back here don't have that big of cup holders. There's also 2 rear air vents back here, no third zone for the climate, and also no heated rear seats. I don't think that was available in an Optima in 2011, but I know younger models could. There's also actually, the rear seat doesn't fold down, but there's a little bit of a pass-through here, which you could, I don't know, say hi to your guests in the trunk. In terms of rear seat comfort though, the rear seat is actually pretty soft. My thighs have decent support because, you know, they're like the seat at the bottom of the seat is pretty high up, and they're both kind of like little buckets. I think 3 of me could fit back here. There's mat pockets on the backs of each seat. My feet can fit under the seat pretty nicely as well. But there's so much legroom. It's actually really nice. And headroom is pretty decent as well. This one doesn't have a sunroof. Higher trims, EX trims, could get a full pano moonroof, which is pretty dapper, but this one doesn't have that. Now, I know that this is not much of a driver's car, but most of the time that you guys will be spending will be in the driver's seat. This one does have push button start. They all do. The keys are here. Let's see here. Nope. This one. This is Kia's key fob back in 2011. One of my first impressions of this Optima interior though is how driver oriented it is. It's actually not that bad in here. It's quite comfortable. I like how the head unit and the climate controls are really facing me. But first of all, the steering wheel is a 4-spoked leather wrapped wheel in this one. On the top left, those buttons control the audio. On the top right, those are for the cruise control. And down here, the layout of the buttons is actually pretty interesting. There's an eco button, that takes you in and out of eco mode. The car just started. You can also switch through different screens of the trip computer. It doesn't really show that much, just stuff related to fuel economy. Now looking at the gauges, they're quite different from a normal Optima, and that mostly pertains to the far left gauge. There's an eco guide gauge, which shows you if the gas engine is actually running or if it's doing regen braking, like the gas engine just shut off now. There's also a coolant temp and a hybrid battery level indicator as well. On the far right, it's just a speedometer and the fuel gauge. In terms of interior quality, it's actually pretty decently built. Like everything up on the dash is soft touch. Of course, it's not like a premium feeling soft touch, but it's nice that it's not like a hard plastic. In terms of seat comfort, they're actually pretty comfortable. I could go on plenty of road trips with this, especially with how many miles you get out of a tank. But the driver's seat uses 8-way power adjustments with also electric lumbar. The passenger seat doesn't have any power in it at all, but the driver's seat, well, both front seats are actually pretty comfortable. Of course, this isn't something sporty, so they're not crazy supportive, but they'll fit most sizes of people pretty comfortably. Now let's look at this head unit. This is the lower end infotainment screen in the Optimas. The Optima Hybrid EX or even the normal Optima EX got a bigger touchscreen unit. This actually, I'm surprised this screen is touchscreen. It's like a, what, 4-inch touchscreen display. It does have color in it, but it has AM and FM radio, XM. There's not that much to it, but you can stream your music through Bluetooth and also use Bluetooth for the telephone. And I'm surprised it's touchscreen. The touchscreen actually works pretty decently too. Uh-oh, I hit scan. Janet, I lost your 1003. But there is a tuning knob, which is nice, and a volume knob. Down below, the climate control is dual zone. One of the nice things about not having a huge screen up here is that you for sure have hard touch buttons for the climate. It's very simple to use, and like I said, it's quite ergonomic, pretty easy to get used to. Nothing crazy, but there's no heated or cooled seats in this one. The Optima EX Hybrid, though, gets cooled seats. When you put the car into reverse, there is a backup camera, which takes a second to pop up, but it is on now. There are no guidance lines that steer with the steering wheel, but there are lines that can help you line up with things, but nothing fancy, and only one view. The cup holders in the front are pretty decently sized too. They can fit big water bottles and big cups from restaurants sneaking out. The center armrest is okay. It's a cheaper looking material, but it is soft touch with faux stitching. It is pretty decent inside. You can fit a comb and gum and coins and things. There's no USB ports in here. I do like how organized it is in here, but there's two 12-volt power outlets, an aux jack, and a USB port in the little compartment in front of the shifter. And you can fit your phone in there too. So this is my first time driving an Optima, because I haven't driven the current Gen K5 or anything like that. This is the first Optima that I've driven. What a way to jump into the lineup. But we are here. Let's get on the power. It's kind of quiet, but like the transition from gas to electric is quite, well, electric to gas is quite rough. I'm not really gonna be driving this in a spirited manner. When you're accelerating slowly, this is not the most smoothest car. I mean, you can really tell that this is an early version of Kia's hybrid system because it's so herky-jerky at low speeds. When you're driving normally like this, though, I'm just cruising. I'm in eco mode. Oh, I'm in eco mode. And the engine's quiet. You can barely hear it. Off the line, it starts you off in EV, unless if you give it a little bit of gas. Sometimes I think this is a CVT that just, they say it's a 6-speed because it really, this is how it's supposed to drive, but it just really revs weird. Like it just has a lot of rev hang for an automatic transmission. The brake pedal is very weird. It's like an inch of sponge, and then once it starts to actually grab, you just like slam the brakes. It's so herky-jerky. I mean, once you get used to it, it's okay, but It's kind of, it's just,
And it's funny, you floored it just there.
Yeah.
Did you floor it?
No.
No.
Yeah.
You gave it plenty of gas.
Yeah.
It didn't move.
It didn't move.
It didn't go anywhere.
It didn't go anywhere.
U.S. News and World Report described this car as having a coarse hybrid drivetrain.
Of course. That's full throttle right now. Oh, it's in EV mode.
Oh, okay. I was like, where's the rest
I
of it?
was confused. I was waiting. Did you see that iMev?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I was like, what the fuck? Why isn't it doing...
God, imagine if Mom drove one of those.
Don't get one of those.
Mom, please.
Mom, please. Yeah, it's in EV mode.
That's odd. The engine just died.
I'm full throttle right now, and the engine just won't come on. Why? I'm full throttle and it just won't go. It's just in EV mode.
No.
The wrench came on. Oh my God. I'm gonna try turning it off. Well, what I'll do is I'll let it rest and then to be continued. Of course, this is not the most enthusiastic car, especially on my channel, but thanks to Michael's mom for letting us kidnap her car today. And let me know if you have an Optima or an Optima hybrid in the comments below. I'm curious because there's a car community for literally everything. Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet. But thank you for watching this video of this wonderful steed today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, peeps.